Plaza Towers Elementary had a building collapse. That may have been the one of the ones we saw from Sky News 9 a little while ago, Gary. But it's just that everywhere they look, there are more problems and more people hurt.
A lot of storms, Kelly, I want to mention, that are in southern Oklahoma City, eastern parts of Oklahoma City, and really that New Walla one, little northeast there, is winding up, and there's a big storm, tornadic thunderstorm down west. We'll do a real quick cut on one of these screens with Michael to update you guys in around Pauls Valley. Big time tornadic thunderstorm down there, so be sure you take your tornado precautions. Michael?
Okay, listen, you guys down south, I know you're terrified after seeing what happened in the south side of Oklahoma City, and so we're going to focus in just for a minute here on what's going on down here in other parts of the area. So we have thunderstorms continuing again across the metro and to the east. This is the one that continues to be tornado warned, lifting into Lincoln County. But here's what I want you to look at. West of Pauls Valley, this storm that's located in Garvin County, the circulation is south and east of Lindsay. You guys in Lindsay, you're okay. Okay, no problems there. Maysville, you're going to get a lot of hail. Here's the rotation back in here. We also have a secondary rotation that's north and west of Pauls Valley, lifting up toward Paola. But right now, this storm that's crossing from Stevens County into western Garvin County, let me measure this from Pauls Valley. Okay, this circulation is 18 miles from Pauls Valley, and the storms are moving at about 20 miles an hour. Okay, so listen, you guys in Pauls Valley, get ready for the potential for tornadic activity moving into the Pauls Valley area along Interstate 35 as we move into the 5 o'clock time frame. Let's check in with Hank Brown on that storm. Hank?
Mike, I'm in Elmore City, looking to the northwest. There's a rotation to my east near Pauls Valley. There's a large lowering to the northwest of Elmore City. It's probably going to be directly west, maybe, of Antioch, northeast of Purdy. There's a large rotating lowering, Mike, a very large rotating base. That's to the west. Towards Pauls Valley, the front edge of that, there's an inflow couplet. It's got a large rotating lowering with it, too. The dominant one that seems like it looks like it's getting ready to tornado, Mike. Northwest of Elmore City, southeast of Erin Springs, north or east of Purdy, west of Antioch. Anybody in this area, take your tornado precautions. This is the most well-defined this lowering and rotating wall cloud has got in the last 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right, Hank, storms do continue. We've got that one west of Elmore City, so in around Pauls Valley, we won't be back to you as much as we would like to be. There's still a lot going on up here. We have still somewhat of a circulation trying to develop near McLeod over and moving into Lincoln County. The storm developing at Will Rogers Airport, that probably mainly a hailer, a lot of hail also near the Spencer area. And let me just mention where the other ones are located. Central and eastern Oklahoma County on into Lincoln County. The other ones over northeast have moved on out just a bit, but a tornadic thunderstorm near Waurika, just south of Waurika, moving toward Ringling. Another tornadic thunderstorm moving directly toward Pauls Valley, so please keep that in mind, you guys down there. Take your tornado precautions now. And this storm near Harris still could produce another tornado. There's circulation trying to develop near McLeod. Hail near Jones back in here, so we'll continue to watch all of this, and we'll go back to Kelly Ogle. Kelly?
Gary, it's worst fears being confirmed down there, and it's concerning fatalities in the area. We don't have a hard count, but I can tell you what I'm hearing from more police. They're putting out the word. One of the supervisors is saying, as you encounter a fatality, secure the area. So we know there are going to be multiple fatalities in the Moore area especially.
They've currently set up a triage area at the area of 141st and Santa Fe, 141st and Santa Fe, where they're going to be treating those who are hurt.
Just the most recent one I heard, a fatality in the 1400 block of Southeast 6th Street in Moore. But just devastation down there, and sorting through this looks, and we think this was Briarwood Elementary that took a direct hit earlier this afternoon when this tornado moved through the Moore area at about 3:15, a little more than an hour ago, and to flatten countless, look at the shot on the left, countless homes. That's I-35 right in front of the Warren Theater, folks, where this tornado ripped across and undoubtedly killed people in that area as well.
We're continuing to listen to the scanners, to listen to our crews who are out there on the scene, and as soon as we get the very latest information, especially we know everybody's on edge to hear about the schools, especially Briarwood Elementary School. And as soon as we get word about any of those kids who are rescued, we're going to bring that to you. We're working to get that information. And this looks like a live picture from there on the right-hand side of your screen, and you can see a lot of people standing around, emergency personnel. We also heard there may have been a gas leak right around there, so we saw from the earlier fires, that's a big, big concern right now, because if you have a gas leak and that thing explodes, you have big trouble.
Yep. Hey, guys, if we can real quickly, I think our graphics department has drawn up a map for us of where this thing tracked through the south side of the metro area. Can you go to that? Do you have that map loaded? They do. They're going to pull it up for us in a moment. Just to give you an idea of where it went, there you can see this thing really started on the other side of I-44, and then it tracked north of Newcastle through the south side of Oklahoma City and right into Moore. And we'll start to add some of the details to that map so it's a little bit easier to read, but there you have an idea.
We're starting, too, to hear some of the personal stories and how the storm has impacted the folks down there. Our Carl Torp has been down there just right after the storm passed through. Let's check in with him for an update. Carl?
Yeah, I just want to show real quick here. Just kind of indicating that they all clear. There's nobody inside here, and so they're going around here screaming to see if anyone needs help, and then securing the home with this ribbon. This home actually belongs to this gentleman right here, and you saw this storm coming and you got out.
I did. I saw it coming up the street here, 144th Street. I saw the funnel and the debris field coming directly this way, so I hopped in my car and drove a couple of miles north and got away from it just in time.
What did you think when you returned to this neighborhood and you saw your homes gone?
I didn't know where I was, honestly. I couldn't find my home. I had to get some bearings and find street signs that were down and just try to piece it together and find my way back home.
We're glad you're okay. Any sort of landmarks around here blown away, and so paramedics are actually having a hard time kind of getting in and out of here because so much debris is in the road, and also the landmarks to tell you kind of where you're going are missing too. So, you know, just one aspect of what's going on down here. Kelly and Amanda?
He needs it back. All right, Carl, appreciate that. We want to go back over to Gary and Michael, still tracking storms. Storms still developing and tracking ones that have moved through. Guys?
They are, and there's storms still going on in Oklahoma County, and I'll just tell you about this. Will Rogers had 2-inch hail a little while ago. Those extend up to central and south Oklahoma City, Del City area, Midwest City, Nakoma Park, north of Choctaw up to Jones. So the thunderstorms in Oklahoma County are not tornadic at all, as we stand right now. But the storm that's over north of McLeod, it has a rotation, a wall cloud, quite a few things with it. That's McLeod and Dale, and it's just north of Dale, up toward Jacktown, Meeker, moving east-northeast 25. So you guys from I-40 north to McLeod, Jacktown, Meeker, and then on up toward Sparks and later toward Prague and possibly up to the Chandler area, stay alert. And there's a very strong to severe storm in the Jones area. So the Jacktown, McLeod storm capable of producing a tornado. We're on the video we're watching from those areas. There are very low wall clouds, but as of yet, no tornado showing up. So, Kelly, we'll go back to you now.
All righty, Gary. The damage we believe that's at, that looks like Briarwood Elementary, the shot that we saw a little bit earlier. I think that's what the area people have been looking for, that we had a report of children being trapped. Michael Konopasik's also down in the area.
Yeah, let's go ahead and check in with him. Michael, give us an update. Michael, I know you're busy out there. Go ahead if you can hear us. Well, we're looking at live pictures from the scene there. You can see first responders there, the fire department's there, and they're kind of making their own makeshift triage right there on the streets of Moore. We see Carl Torp right there. Okay, so this is probably the area of 144th and Robinson. This is not too far from the Briarwood Elementary School. In fact, this looks to be just less than a mile away, probably a quarter mile away from the elementary school where we were looking at those aerial shots earlier on. Edmond Police Department, they're also sending their team of officers down to Moore to help out because they are going to need a lot of help as they have to go through these neighborhoods. We're getting word also of multiple fatalities in the Moore area. We're working to get some more details on that, but not a big surprise when you look at the devastation caused by this tornado as it ripped through the area. Kelly's currently monitoring a lot of the scanners too to give us some more information.
I'm listening to Moore PD right now. Hold on one second.
Sure.
I might need to relay something to our helicopter.
Let me go ahead and just fill folks in on what we know so far. There was a fire at the Fairways at Moore that was going to be near South Santa Fe and Southwest 19th Street, so they're not only dealing with the devastation, but they're dealing with fires, and as soon as the fire happens, it's almost next to impossible to get the fire truck in there.
Is that shot on the right from Jim live, or is that that is live? Okay. The rescuers down in the area are searching for people under rubble, and there is a helicopter hovering overhead. I would assume it's not ours because it's on the move. There's a helicopter overhead that they need moved because they can't hear the people in the rubble. And whether it's news or police or rescue helicopter of some sort, that's one of their problems they're having right now, trying to listen to people who are trapped in the debris. Boy, look at that shot. That looks, guys, Gary, Michael, that looks like it did 14 years ago.
Absolutely. It looks a lot like the May 3rd, 99 damage.
Maybe even worse in some areas.
Yeah, huge. We're looking at that. I'll tell you, you guys in Meeker, there's a strong circulation, a tornado warning just west of Meeker, moving toward the Meeker area, and it's moving, looks like northeast. We'll have to put it northeast, 30 miles an hour. I think we have Val's in south central Oklahoma City. Val, go ahead.
Yeah, that's right, Gary. We're just south of Meeker right now. As a matter of fact, we're about 3 miles south of Meeker. And this lowering, matter of fact, it's getting lower just to the southwest of Meeker. So the storm is still moving northeast, it appears. People in Meeker are in possibly some danger right now because this thing is getting lower all the time, Gary, and it looks like it's moving right towards Meeker, I think.
Hey, Gary, we're here.
Go ahead.
Okay, Gary, we're north of Meeker, just like Val said. We're north of Meeker, about 3 miles. North of I-40. And Val's absolutely right, Gary. This thing is starting to spin a little harder, a little bit lower now than it was 10 minutes ago. So we got to really watch this thing as it moves to the Meeker area over into Lincoln County. It's getting better organized for sure. Gary, back to you.
Appreciate that very much. Lincoln County is just the east of Oklahoma County, a little ways. It's north of, this circulation is just west of Meeker. That would put it north of Shawnee. So Shawnee, you're not in a risk with this. But this is the same cell that produced the huge tornadoes earlier. And it is Jacktown area over to Meeker, to Sparks, and it's going to be moving on off northeast. So it looks like south central and southeastern sections of Lincoln County. You guys in Prague should stay alert in case it moves more to the east. We have it moving northeast at 30. And so time frame Meeker 428, Sparks 443. But keep in mind, they can vary somewhat from right to left. So that one looks pretty suspicious. Also the one south, as you may look at Storm Shield, that one down near Pauls Valley. Let's check Pauls Valley on the Storm Shield. And it is still a tornado, has a tornado warning with it. So in and around the Pauls Valley area, continue with that tornado warning. The one over near Meeker is looking more and more interesting all the time. We have several storm trackers right there with it. We might take a look at David's Stream if you have a spot that you want to put that video up. It's David's Stream. And so you guys, southern and southeastern Lincoln County, just be alert. Tornado warning there. Kelly?
Right, Gary. Just heard a call from one of the Moore police officers, and they're talking so rapidly it's difficult to keep up with all the information. But off the police scanner said one area. Hold on one second.
We're both monitoring the scanners.
800 block of Southwest 11th. They just rescued someone from the rubble, and they say in several neighborhoods there are still multiple people trapped under rubble in the Moore area. Again, this is west of I-35.
Right now, law enforcement, they do not want anybody else trying to go to that area because they have their hands full right now trying to just clear away and get enough space for their own rescue units to go in. But on the left-hand side, on both sides of the screen, we're looking at live pictures, but on the left-hand side, that hard-hit neighborhood right off 144th and Robinson.
We don't know the exact number, but we do know that there are going to be fatalities out of this. Gary and his team, meanwhile, continuing to track storms. The storm trackers are out there on the road, and Gary, we'll just ping-pong it back and forth here as we look at the Highway Patrol helicopter. Go ahead.
Go to Val. Let's go to Val. Go to Val. Val, go ahead.
Tornado on the ground just to the southwest, just to the west of Meeker.
There it is.
Yep. Rapidly formed and dropped, and the funnel is about 2/3 of the way to the ground. And Gary, this is going to be, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be about a mile and a half or so, 2 miles west-southwest of Meeker. It looks like it's moving directly towards Meeker. Now, this is not a massive tornado like the one we saw before. It's a smaller tornado, but nonetheless, there is damage being done. right there, and it's in a bad spot for Meeker. It looks like it's moving right towards Meeker, in my opinion. Not a huge tornado, Gary, still on the ground. I see the funnel.
Intensity is increasing with it. Let me say to the folks in Meeker, take your immediate tornado precautions. It's almost on top of you, if not there, at this time. So, Meeker area, take your immediate tornado precautions. Below ground is best. If you don't have that, you go to the center part of the house, closet or bathroom, get in there and cover yourself up. A helmet, shatter-resistant goggles, and shoes. And well, this thing passes by. So apparently it's touchdown. David, what do you have?
A mile south of Meeker.
David, what do you have? Go ahead, David.
Okay, Gary. Coming on the south side of Meeker. I don't quite see it yet. I'm still just on the south side, about a half mile here, trying to get up north. I'm looking for it, but I don't see it from my location. Hang on. All right, there it is. Yeah, okay, I see it. There it is. Yeah, Val's right. It's just west of town. Not very far, Gary. Looks like it's west of town, like you said, maybe a mile and a half just west of town. Like you said, it's a cone. It's about halfway to the ground, and it's hanging out the backside of it. You can see the Minnesota right above it. It's very impressive. And I don't see the debris clouds. Doesn't mean there's not one from my vantage point, but I definitely see the tornado right there. It's about halfway to the ground. Again, like Val said, just west of Meeker. Coming into Meeker now on the south side. Gary?
Appreciate that report very much, David. So Meeker area, and also, gosh, let me just click this one button here, and we'll look at this. It's well north of I-40 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 10 miles north, and it's right along in the vicinity of, is that 60? I think it's make it a little bit larger here. So I can read it. Still can't read them in here. So anyway, let's just call it the north-south road through there, State Highway 18. So it looks like it's very close to 18 in the Meeker area. And it's not extreme, but it definitely is there. And so tornado warning, Meeker area. You guys that live in Prague, just keep in mind it may continue eastward. If it does, you'll be in line too. What's that number on this, Mike? Lacey, right here. There's not enough room on that dialog box to put it on there.
Okay.
Okay, see?
I'll pull it up.
Okay, so that gives you some idea on the movement there. East, northeast, 30 miles per hour, so tornado warning 62. So along Highway 62, and let's just call it right along Highway 62 right now. So whose shots we have? Val, what do you have now? Val, go ahead. There's Val's shot, Storm Action 1.
Gary?
So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, we are right in the heart of Meeker right now. We're right in the center of town. Rotation is just to the northwest of town right now. It has moved to just northwest of Meeker. I don't see the pronounced funnel that we had a little bit earlier. It has since lifted for the most part. There's still a pretty decent lowering right there. But the rotation is just to the northwest of Meeker, not very far, and it's still there. It's possible there could still be damage on the ground. I don't see a debris cloud, and at the moment, oh, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. There's a huge lowering about 2 miles north of Meeker. Okay, there it is. It's a large lowering, but I do not see a funnel all the way to the ground. It's just kind of a large lowering, now about 1.5 miles or so straight north of Meeker, Gary.
Yeah, here it is,
to move
right here.
to the east-northeast.
Yeah, we've got it moving to the east at 25 now. So from Meeker over to Prague, southeastern sections of Lincoln County. Also, right after that will come Payson. So you folks in that area continue with a tornado warning, and it looks like it's continuing to wrap up some, as is the storm down near Pauls Valley. It's moving east 20, very, very slow 20, so continued tornado warning in and around Pauls Valley. Very
Got to break in, Gary.
Rotation. Go ahead, Val.
We still see debris on the ground. There is still debris on the ground. There's a small funnel above, and this is going to be 1.5 miles north of Meeker, and it's still just west of the north-south highway. There is debris on the ground still. It's going to cross the highway. I'm looking at the map here. It's going to cross the highway about 1.5 miles north of Meeker. It's not real strong. I mean, this is not a wedge or anything major, but there is damage being done right there. Probably 1.5 miles to 2 miles north of Meeker at the moment, Gary.
Okay, just a broad view, guys, on Storm Shield. Severe thunderstorm west-southwest, and Storm Shield west-southwest. You guys in Ardmore, tornadic thunderstorm there. Also, we're moving into the Pauls Valley region. We have storm trackers down there that do not see that tornado at the moment in Pauls Valley, but it could easily be there. And the one in Lincoln County continues to be there. And Val or David, either one of you have anything on that?
Well, Gary,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, we're still watching this. I see debris still, and this is going to be still to the west of the highway, just not far west of the highway, north of Meeker, probably around 2.5 miles now. This thing almost looks like it might be lifting more northeast at the moment. But anyway, there's emergency vehicles out here ahead of us. Looks like they're trying to keep people from going into it, but they're following it also. It's not, like I said, it's not a major tornado. It's not huge, but any tornado is significant, and it is doing damage. There's not much of a funnel with it, and I need to get out of the trees here to see if there's still debris being lifted up. But this is going to be about 3 miles north of Meeker, Gary.
Okay, appreciate that. Tornado warning continues over there, Meeker toward Prague and Arlington. Here's Sky News 9, and we'll check in with Jim Gardner. Jim, if you're with us audio-wise, talk to me.
Yeah, Gary, right now there's a lot of activity going around this gas station that is just, it's going to be just trying to get my bearings here, exactly what street we are on. Looks like it may be around 4th Street, around there right behind the Warren, but they're really digging in this debris right here. They backed up a tow truck, they're running a cable out, and these people are frantically digging right down through here and trying to get this debris pulled out of here. I don't know exactly what they were waving their arms. We got police officers down there, but you can see a large group of people and workers digging through this quite feverishly, and like I said, they have a tow cable to start dragging some of this debris away, so I believe there's possibly some people trapped underneath. This was a gas station. Now, as I come in, it looks like this is Telephone Road that I'm crossing over. This little road right here is Telephone Road, and around 17th and Telephone Road, but you can see all the police vehicles right there, fire department, another store right there, but it looks like they waved everybody down and they've been frantically digging in this debris here, so hopefully that, they pull somebody out alive here, Gary.
Thank you very much, sir. That's Bob Mills, Sky News 9, Jim Gardner at the helm, and over the Moore area. This is a very large tornado, obviously very powerful, and a deadly tornado from what we're hearing. You can see they're searching apparently for survivors there. There's down in the Moore area. Covered a huge area. It was on the ground for about 30 miles. That was from close to Newcastle all the way over to the lake, to the east-northeast, and then weakened there rather rapidly. Now that storm has gone on, is intensifying some just east of Meeker toward Prague and Payson, so you guys be alert to tornado over there. Once again, you're looking at the damage recovery going on, or looking for survivors, and this is in the Moore area. Jim Gardner there in Bob Mills, Sky News 9. This, like I said, this tornado on the ground about 30 miles, close we can estimate, and it's very similar to some other tracks that we've had. It may not be as long, but it looks like it's just as severe. We don't have a count on possible casualties yet, but it doesn't look too good. And, this came in, a lot of people were on the way home from work. We don't know if people were caught in their cars at all, but we noticed as it was approaching Santa Fe Avenue and more, the road was covered with cars, I guess trying to get home and such, and then that tornado swept across there, so it's not a good deal at all. The warnings are very good in this part of the world, but you got to have your radios on and your TVs on to get Val, go ahead.
Gary, we got a tornado on the ground northeast of Meeker. Gary, about 4 miles northeast of Meeker, a new tornado has formed with the new wall cloud.
All about kids' daycare.
This thing has formed very, very quickly. I don't know if you got our stream yet or not, but this thing came out of, it formed fast. And with the new circulation, it formed to the northeast of Meeker, about 4 miles, Gary.
What size on the tornado, and what do you think about it?
4 miles approximately northeast of Meeker. New tornado formed. It's still on the ground. It's to our east, about a mile or so. Looks like it's moving due northeast at the moment to me. Okay, it's getting bigger. Gary, this thing is getting bigger. It's going to be to the northeast. It's pretty much out over open country.
Show me where that is. That'd be right.
No two towns in its path I can see right now. A little town called Payson. If you see that on your map, it's a tiny little spot on the map.
I don't see Easton. I see Arlington.
I don't see that on the map.
Oh, wow. Gary, take our stream. You can take our stream, Gary.
Okay. Take David's stream.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, wow. Like Val said, Gary, I'm 4 miles northeast of, 3 miles northeast And again, it's like you said, it's a lot stronger than it was just a few minutes ago. But and here's the deal, we're in trees, so it's kind of hard to take our stream. We're seeing a bunch of trees right now. Yeah, but it's a lot stronger. It's definitely getting stronger as it moves northeast, Gary.
Okay, we're looking at it moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. I'm doing a new projection on it. So it looks like it's a little south of Sparks, and it's, how far is it? It's northeast or northwest of Prague, 7.25 miles, and so we look good there. Arlington is moving toward Arlington. Go ahead, Hank.
Gary, I've got a small funnel developing just west of Falls Valley. I am on Highway 23 looking north about 3 miles. It's going to be very close to I-35. It might be just to the northwest or just straight west of Falls Valley. Small rotating funnel forming at this time, Gary.
Okay, quick check on storm shield, guys, and we'll look at that storm south on the Pauls Valley storm, about to produce a tornado down there. Big circulation, but a very persistent supercell, and it is moving. I'll move this just a minute for you. Pauls severe, we'll call it Pauls Valley 450, Byers 512, Stratford 521. So it's getting ready to cross Interstate 35 down there. Storm tracker Hank Brown is on that one. So you guys in around Pauls Valley, continue with your tornado warning there. He doesn't have the tornado in sight, but there is a funnel cloud with that. We continue with a tornado warning. As we look on the left there, we continue with a tornado warning over in Lincoln County, southeast Lincoln County, moving towards Southern Creek and northern Okfuskee County. So that last I heard on that one over, it was doing some damage. So a tornado warning continues over there. A tornado warning continues south. A quick check on the rest of the metro. Let me just back up here on Storm Shield. We have another storm developing west of Purcell. In the metro, we still have some showers and thunderstorms in Oklahoma County, some hail and some wind. They don't look that bad right now, so we're happy about that. But we do see more storms down just to the south. So tornado warning down here at Pauls Valley, and a tornado warning over northwest of Prague and northeast of Meeker. That's moving on over toward, it looks like it'll go south of Stroud up into Southern Creek County. So we're watching that, and let's go back to Kelly and Sky News 9.
This is for Lincoln.
All right, Gary, sorry, we're taking information we're getting coming to us from our Simon desk and also from off the scanners as well.
Yeah, we're getting some devastating news from our crews. The Orr family farm, which is right there around the western 134th, 149th area in Moore. Our crews are telling us that Orr family farm has been destroyed.
Okay, we're also hearing about more fatalities, folks, and we're not even going to try to keep count at this point because they're not really running a total, but there are multiple fatalities in the Moore area. If you remember the May 3rd track, it looks like this one may have been about a mile or so, maybe 3/4 of a mile further south. But these are some of the businesses by the Warren Theater. You can see cars. That's if Jim Gardner can hear me right now. Jim, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kelly.
Talk to us about what we're looking at, Jim.
Well, this is going to be right around Southwest 4th Street, I-35, where the tornado crossed across I-35, where we showed you that shot before we had to go get fuel, where all the cars were just crumpled up. There, they have removed all those cars. Now, as we come back to the left there, that was a medical building. The Warren Theater, the medical building's at the top center of your screen. That's where the medical building was. Also, the gas station that they were digging at friendly is just tilt up right from right there. Tilt up from right, no, tilt up. Yeah, right there on the corner. That's around Southwest 4th, just west of I-35. They're still digging frankly now. I've been asked by OHP and some other agencies for us to clear the area, to clear the area around it because they can't hear the cry for help and everything. So we're moving off way wide here, Kelly, and going to give them all the room they need to try to listen for the people that are hollering for help here in this debris. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Bill, Scotty News 9. Back to you, Kelly.
Hey, Jim, hang with us here if you can. I'm going to turn my...
We're hearing there's a daycare that's right next to the Moore Medical Center.
All right, so there, folks, that right there in the middle of your shot, that's the Warren Theater that sits on I-35. That's a landmark that most people know at 4th Street, and it has a substantial amount of damage. We just lost Jim's shot there. Sounds like we're getting some rain here on the studios, and that may be part of the challenge that they're facing down there as well. It doesn't look like it's raining, but they've that tornado tracked back to the west and just a little bit south of there, all the way back to Newcastle. That's a line that might help you kind of understand what we're talking about. there you see it. That's looking back to the west, back over toward the Newcastle area, and it's just devastation right through neighborhoods. Just like last time, only about 3/4 of a mile further to the south this time.
I'm hearing from some of my friends on Facebook, and they say, Lacey's saying her sister lives in Moore. She says it's like a war zone. She's helping pull people out. Devastated. Janie Brown tells me she just heard they're pulling third-grade children from Plaza Tower School.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
we thought that was one of the schools that had been
That was one of the schools
damaged.
that was hit, and we know the gym was totaled, and looks like more of the building. Carl Torp is standing by right now. We had Carl shot there for a second. Carl, if you can hear us, go ahead and start.
Where we are, we kind of walked just a few blocks from where we were reporting from earlier. I want to point out what's going on here behind me. This is basically a crew of people going through debris looking for a 17-year-old girl who tried to ride out the storm inside there. They don't know where she is. No one can find her. And just where we are right now, and that's her father over there, just trying to go through, and we still it out. Just where we are, there's also a 4-year-old boy, we're told by neighbors, that did not make it, and also a 3-month-old baby that we saw a police officer holding, and neighbors told us that the baby did not make it either. So that's just kind of within just a few houses of where we are right now.
Carl, can you repeat that last part?
It looks like they're looking for the 17-year-old girl, but we also saw a police officer actually holding a baby. The baby was wrapped in a blanket, and we were told by neighbors, and we haven't heard from police, we were told by neighbors the baby did not make it. A 3-month-old baby did not make it, and also heard that just where we are right here, a 4-year-old boy also didn't make it. This is what we're hearing from neighbors, though, just in the immediate area.
Okay, Carl Torp, it's a tragic, heartbreaking scene down there. It is very much like it was May 3rd of 1999, which we never thought we would see another storm like that. And here we are, not too far removed from that. And we're looking at the exact same kind of situation down there, folks. And I got to tell you, from the shots we've seen from the air, some of this looks more devastating than May 3rd to me. Maybe more homes. It may have gone through more of a densely populated area. Go ahead, I'm going to listen to the scanners, Amanda.
Yeah, and if we can even,
information.
I am, and if we can even listen in to Carl, I don't know if he's actually interviewing that lady.
But this is 149.
But they said it was coming up.
Okay, he's probably just getting some information. As soon as we get something more from him, we'll check in with him. We have learned they have put up a no-fly zone around the Moore area, and what that means is they're trying to keep a distance. So we're getting, this is going to be earlier video from Bob Mills Sky News 9 HD of the devastation there. We believe this is Briarwood Elementary School, where they were searching for any kids that might be in there. But they have put up a no-fly zone around Moore, and what they're trying to do is keep any helicopters away from the area so they can listen. And what they're listening for survivors. So we're complying with that. We're staying back a little bit, so we're going to get you some ground shots. We're going to show you some video from earlier on. We're going to work on getting the newest information. As for that Briarwood Elementary School, I know we are all still waiting to hear the very latest on what's happening there. We are still working on getting information out of there. We understand that some people were bringing kids. It looked like they were bringing kids out from the school, but the gentleman who was doing that said, no, these are kids from a daycare. The daycare is right next to the school. And so we've seen now, or heard at least, of 2 families bringing kids from the daycare, so it appears like the kids are okay there. We have not gotten word yet, though, from the Briarwood Elementary School, although we still are working on getting information. But you can see the devastation there. It's really difficult right now to even get through street by street by street. Heard, too, they were just transported somebody critical from Southwest 104th and Western, so that's going to be north of that neighborhood there that we're looking at. Transported somebody critical, and unfortunately we've heard now from Carl that just from his scene there, a 3-month-old baby has died, as well as a 4-year-old child. Kelly, are you listening to some scanners?
I'm still listening to scanners, and I'm monitoring more fire and more police, more emergency management, and the Moore Hospital at this point. And I'm frequently hearing more fatalities, and I'm going to be very careful about releasing the location of those, because I don't want to unduly alarm people. So as I get more information on it, I'll pass it along. But it's enough to say that there have been a number of people in this more area, especially west of I-35, and there may be a few east of I-35 as well that have been killed by this in just huge tornado that blew through Moore at about 3:15, started at 2:52, really down around I-44 in the Newcastle area, and tracked across southwest Oklahoma City into Moore. And it was a huge tornado. We knew it was going to be bad, and it was it tracked right through a heavily populated area.
At about 3:11, David Payne was right there on the scene at 134th and Penn, and his words, and I quote, "Homes are totally leveled. Homes are disappearing right in front of us." And this is the devastation. This is the aftermath here of this tornado. Earlier on, we also saw some shots. I want to give you an update from Bob Mills, Sky News 9 HD. They were showing us, looked like right behind the Warren Theater, it was a gas station that was leveled. And we believe that people were trapped there, and they were searching for a woman. Looking up that location, that is the 7-Eleven right there off Telephone Road near Southwest 4th Street. And so they are still actively searching that gas station for anyone who may be trapped.
We understand that Evan Anderson, another one of our reporters, is down around Southwest 19th and Santa Fe. This is going to be by the Moore Golf and Athletic Club, kind of down in that area. Evan, if you can hear us, tell us what you're seeing down there. Okay, we may have lost him, guys. You might have to just start him on the phone.
Kelly and Amanda, if you can hear me, I just ran back, had some shoddy cell service, but if you can hear me at this moment, we are at the corner of Santa Fe Avenue and Southwest 19th. Mass destruction as far as the eye can see. Really, words can't explain this. I just want to turn back this way here, or he's pointing over here, but actually, if you look down this way, people are sitting around, walking around, looking for loved ones, trying to find things here. Taking a straight shot here down Santa Fe Avenue, lines completely down. No one is really driving through here at this point. Police are asking anybody that is not from the Moore area, especially in the worst hit areas, the path of destruction, to please stay out the way and let emergency vehicles come through. I just want to say, had a number of people come up to us. These scenes, very reminiscent of May 3rd, 1999, if not worse. We've seen complete structures completely leveled on the way in here. Shopping centers, as soon as you come off I-35, completely destroyed. We're talking to people trying to find their cars, trying to find out where they've been thrown to. This CVS here is actually helping people out, trying to give out water and do anything they can to help. There is no power, obviously, so people are just trying to kind of scour through. A lot of people didn't realize all this destruction. Some were taking cover inside the CVS pharmacy right here on the corner of Southwest 19th and Santa Fe Avenue, walked outside to see this. I want to take a look down this way, too. If you can see, point in over here, several yards from where I am, you can see homes completely obliterated. These homes here, see how the tornado kind of skipped around. There's still some rooftops on this end, but if you take a closer look down the way, you can see that homes are no more. It's just piles of debris right now. I think at this point, people are just shell-shocked. They're still walking around looking here. Here's a young man here. Where are you going?
My house right here on 16th. The kids are supposed to be safe, and my wife and me and the dogs got in the closet. And it wasn't pressure. You really couldn't feel the pressure. You could just hear it. And then the house caved down. The door hit me first. And then everything was just like ricocheting off the door. I mean,
tell me,
you would think if the house fell on you, you would feel it. You know what I mean?
Where do you live? Where is your home?
I live this first street, 16th Street. I live right there. You see those trees? I mean, you can see someone of a house. My house is just gone, man. And I was in there. I don't know how to put it into words. 20 seconds went by and it was still happening. I was like, if this is it, I want to see it. And I looked out and I don't know how to explain what I saw, man.
Is your house leveled? Is it anything that's up?
There's nothing there, man. It's leveled, gone, nothing. I mean, nothing. I don't know how we survived. The three of us were in the closet covered. I have no clue.
You got your two dogs here. They're okay. A little shaken, obviously. Who all was in the house with you?
It was just us three. My kids were supposed to be with my mom in a shelter, and my wife works down here in Qdoba, and they were supposed to leave, and I can't get a hold of anybody. I don't know what to do. This is my home for tonight.
Way to get better. Thank you for talking to us, sir.
At least we're alive, you know?
That's the most important part. People are alive. We're going to get stories like that for quite some time. People all across this area who are still shocked, still walking around. really in awe, not really understanding what's going on at this point. We'll have updates here in a little bit. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Evan Anderson at Southwest 19th and Moore area. We have also, and we're all been sitting on the edge of our seats waiting to hear more about this Briarwood Elementary School. You're looking at some of the destruction from the area from earlier on. Well, Carl Torp has made his way now to the elementary school. We want to get an update from Carl. Carl?
Yeah, bye. Okay. Hold on, let me get situated here.
Carl, we know you're getting situated,
we're out
but
the school,
go
obviously,
ahead.
And we're getting our first shots here on the ground. You can see all the cars here in the parking lot. The school itself, and I know we've seen some shots from the air, absolutely obliterated. I just talked with a neighbor who said all the kids are accounted for. I asked her about injuries. She was not sure. We spoke to another lady here who said, you know, all the people that rode up the storm, they sheltered and they're okay. Right when this thing came through, right, they came here to the school. So they're just trying to assess the situation, but obviously we have a perimeter around the school. And I guess there's a corner neighbor, and we hope to learn more, but all the students are accounted for right now. Whether or not, how many of them were injured, we don't know at the moment, but we're going to try to find that out. Kelly and Amanda?
They're giving it a preliminary EF.
Okay, that is the best news we have heard in quite some time, Carl, that all the kids at Briarwood Elementary School have been accounted for. As for injuries, we're still working on getting that information. You can tell that the school severely damaged, but all the kids have been accounted for. Also getting word from the National Weather Service that when this tornado went through the Moore area, it looks like about 3:36 p.m., they have a preliminary report of this tornado as an EF4. That's the timing. I mean, obviously it went through before. Okay. So from 2:56 to 3:36 is when they tracked this storm?
Correct. 2:56
Gotcha.
to 3:36, so 40 minutes on the ground, and it was big most of the time and chewing everything up. And we're preparing a map for you that will show you the track here in just a moment, a little bit better, where you can see some of the streets. But it's fair to say it's in the Moore, West Moore area primarily, just a little bit across I-35 where we had damage, but mainly west of I-35, behind the Warren Theater, back to the west-southwest from there, and then almost all the way back down to I-44. That gives you a good idea of how long this thing was on the ground. And there's the National Weather Service map. Might help you a little bit, but we're making you one that you can see some of the streets on a little bit better. And when we get Sky News 9 back up, it would be good if we get a shot back over by the Warren Theater, because I'm hearing that the bowling alley is an area they're working over there that's right by the Warren Theater.
Our Adriana Vshinsky is also in the area. She's going to be live for us at the Moore Medical Center. Let's check in with her. Adriana?
Well, Amanda, right now we are at the corner of Southwest 4th and Telephone Road, and as you can see, we are at ground zero. We have devastation all around us. This is where the tornado tore through, and there was a 7-Eleven right there at the corner, and we are told that there were people found dead inside. There were at least 3 fatalities that we know of. Now, right over here, that is actually the Moore Medical Center right there. It has been destroyed. They have taken everyone out of there, but as you can see, it is lying in ruins. We've got fire trucks here. We've got Cash and Oklahoma police here. I mean, departments from all over helping with this effort. Now, I am joining Derek over here. Derek, you were actually around here and actually helped try to recover some of the folks here, right?
Yeah, I was storm chasing in. We heard about everyone's needed help. We came in and we pulled up over here, and everyone was already at the 7-Eleven trying to pull cooler doors off and everything, and they got a record truck in, and sadly they found a man and then a woman and a small baby.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say about that. That's horrible. Are you okay? Are you and yours? I mean, looking around here, this is horrible to see this. One thing we did hear, though, is there is a daycare nearby, the Agape Child Care Center, and they do tell me that everyone made it out of